Now at noon, Russia responds to the potential ceasefire in Ukraine. We'll have President Donald Trump's reaction coming up.
Four-wheel drive and snow tires, you can get through just fine.
That's what you'll need if you're thinking about heading through the Cascades. We're expecting heavy snow through the weekend. Plus, shots fired at a Tesla dealership in Tigard for the second time in a week. Tigard police working with federal agents to investigate, and how recent tariffs on steel and aluminum affect Oregon's wine and beer industries. 3 local business owners tell us the impacts they're already feeling. Thank you for joining us. I'm China Green. We have several breaking news to bring to you this afternoon. Russian President Vladimir Putin said this morning that he agrees in principle with a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine backed by the United States. Putin also emphasizing the terms are yet to be worked out and noted any truce should pave the way to lasting peace. President Donald Trump said today Putin, quote, put out a very promising statement, but it wasn't complete. On Tuesday, as Ukraine signaled that they were open to the ceasefire, the Trump administration lifted its suspension of military aid and intelligence sharing for Ukraine. Also breaking this afternoon, a federal judge ordered President Trump's administration to rehire thousands of probationary workers let go in the mass firings across multiple agencies. Those agencies involved are the Department of Veteran Affairs, Agriculture, Defense, Energy, and more. A U.S. district judge in San Francisco said the Trump administration's firings had been done unlawfully and directed the agencies to report back within 7 days of how the departments complied with the order with a list of probationary employees. This order stems from a lawsuit filed by a coalition of labor unions challenging the legality of the mass firings. It is a weather impact alert today at KGW. Before Rod brings us a forecast on possible hail and thunder in the valley, we'll take a look at some fresh snow coming down in the Cascades today. A forecast calling for between 2 to 3 feet of fresh snow to fall on Mount Hood through this weekend. Ashley Grams brings us the latest from Government Camp.
Lots of spring snow for skiers and snowboarders, many of them happy to see a fresh layer on the mountain, but they did have some advice. Be prepared for the drive up.
So this loosens it.
Early Thursday morning.
If I flip it,
it was already time to put chains on.
Look at the ground. I got up to Govey and I live in Welch's and I'm like, it's safer just to put it on chains.
As the sun rose, the snow didn't let up. Boarders and skiers prepared to hit the slopes.
This isn't bad skiing, no, but it's not powder.
Can't complain. Any day on the mountain's a good day.
Steve and his brother Dan have skied this mountain since they were teenagers. They told me today's snowfall is a 7 out of 10.
7, yeah.
In their book.
It's nice to get out early and come down the Alpine Trail.
These brothers and the rest of the shuttle bus are some of the first to take advantage of a snowy weekend. Advisories and warnings are expected in the Cascades for heavy snow through Sunday.
I'll probably come out tomorrow and Monday if it still stays good. It's been amazing.
If you're planning to ski or snowboard this weekend, or maybe just cross the passes, make sure to carry chains with you or have some traction tires. You can also go on Trip Check for the latest road conditions. In Government Camp, Ashley Grams, KGW News.
All right, let's bring in Rod Hill right now. He said it was a 7 in his book for snowfall.
That's a harsh scale, I will say. I was thinking at least 8.5. Come on. All right, here's a look at what Ashley was referring to. We have advisories and a mix of warnings up and down the Cascades. There will be advisories and or warnings in play, as Ashley mentioned, all the way through your weekends. Every day we'll get some significant snow moving forward through at least Sunday. So we do have the KGW weather impact alert up for those reasons. Basically today through Sunday, heavy snow at times. Now the rest of today, the snow is tapered off somewhat, but it was heavy earlier this morning and it will be heavy again at times tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. And again, change traction tires. And supplies, that's important to note. Supplies, what is that? Well, that's an extra blanket, some extra water in case you should get stuck traveling up there in the cold. Here's our Timberline sky camera right now. It is 22 degrees. The new snow as of 11 a.m. this morning, 12 inches has fallen. Again, they could pick up a few inches of of snow shower activity the remainder of today. There's what it looks like for travel. Government camp, 28 degrees. Okay, the other part of our forecast is the KGW weather impact alert in effect right now through 7 p.m. for heavy downpours, including hail, thunder, storms as well. And we have all of those factors right now. You've got lightning that first popped up in western Washington. And now as I take us in a little bit closer, here is some thunderstorm activity that's come up along Highway 99. You can see that right there, likely seeing hail and heavy rain. I had a nice, impressive report from my daughter up in Salmon Creek in Clark County of hail nearly covering the ground with heavy rainfall up there as well. So the stormy part of our forecast coming true at this hour. And you can see the ominous dark looking skies from the Rose City camera. We're at 49 degrees. It's going to be tough to warm up much more because storms are going to become more numerous, kind of holding the temperatures down. But there's the impact alert up at 4 o'clock, set to expire as the sun starts to go down and the heating ends around 7 p.m. today. Back to you.
Thank you, Ron. For the second time in the past week, shots were fired at a Tesla store in Tigard. It happened early this morning around 4 a.m. Police say more than a dozen shots were fired, causing damage to the building's windows and cars parked outside. Luckily, no one was injured here. One security guard was present at the time of the shooting, and police believe it was the security guard who called to report the shooting.
That's what we're seeing again this morning, just cars, windows at the dealership, extensive damage once again. Just like last week, we're taking this very seriously, looking for any possible evidence, working with our federal partners. And if anyone saw anything or heard anything and they haven't spoken with us, we'd love to hear from you.
And last Thursday, at least 7 shots were fired at the same Tesla dealership, damaging 3 cars and shattered windows of the building. A rally protesting President Donald Trump and Elon Musk is slated to happen this afternoon at 4 p.m. in front of this dealership. New information this afternoon. Oregon and Washington joined 18 other states to challenge the Trump administration's mass layoffs at the Education Department. In a federal lawsuit filed today, the states say that the cuts will result in a delay of federal money for public schools and will leave the agency unable to give out college financial aid. In a statement today, Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield says cutting the Department of Education isn't just a policy change, it's a direct hit to our kids and their futures. The Education Department has insisted previously that it will continue to deliver on its statutory obligations despite these cuts. And in an update to the escalating trade war, President Donald Trump threatened today to impose a 200% tariffs on alcohol from the European Union. That's in response to the region's retaliatory tariffs on U.S. whiskey that will go into effect on April 1st. What started it all was President Trump's 25% tariff on aluminum and steel imports on Canada and Europe. Now, those tariffs and the responses are having an immediate impact on Oregon's beer and wine industry. KGW's Catherine Cook met 3 business owners to hear about the impact.
I threw up my hands and go, why?
Across Oregon's wine, beer, and cider industries,
this could not have come at a worse time.
There's anguish and a sense of resignation over the new 25% tariff on imported steel and aluminum.
This is not a necessary component of doing business.
Aaron Sarnoff-Wood is co-founder of Two Towns Cider in Corvallis.
That could be hundreds of thousands of dollars for my business in a year.
He says that's the additional cost they're facing for aluminum cans they get from Canada. Because of prepaid material contracts, he says they have a small buffer, but if tariffs hold, they'll feel that cost increase in about 90 days.
It's really, upsetting and frankly challenging as a business owner. We thrive on stability, and the chaos makes it impossible for us to plan.
Oregon wineries are also hurting. In retaliation to Trump's tariffs, Canada has banned U.S. alcohol from its stores. In 2023, Oregon exported 160,000 cases of wine outside the U.S., with 73,000 of them going to Canada.
Just watching it play out in real time, and it's not pretty. All that business we've worked for is basically President lit a match to it. So
Alex Sokolblosser is president of Sokolblosser Winery in Dayton. He says it took them years to broker their Canadian business deals, which are now on hold until further notice. On top of that, he says wine sales are down 5 to 10% in the U.S. And as difficult as all of that is, Sokolblosser says he gets why Canada is responding to Trump this way.
The thing is, it's above the tariffs now. You know, he's actually talking about making Canada the 51st state. We all have pride. And I've been doing business long enough in Canada to know how much pride they have.
For Oregon's beer industry, small businesses like Lycum Brewing here in Southeast Portland are already feeling the pain of tariffs as they depend on products like steel, aluminum, and barley from Canada.
It's a whole domino effect that's going to take out small businesses like ours.
Owner Sonia Marie Lycum says unlike bigger businesses with contracts, they work directly with suppliers, meaning they see price increases right away. And she's worried about what all of this means for the future, even if the tariffs end.
They're not going to bring them back down. Profit is going to be what is going to continue to drive them. And if they see that people are going to purchase it for 25% more, then they're going to price it higher.
Business owners say ultimately they'll have to rely on consumers to cover some of their increased costs. But after years of inflation and a pandemic, all they want for everyone is a break.
Honestly, my hope is that we can just get back to business as usual. It's been a rough couple of years.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.